Ladies and gentlemen, and now we come to chapter 7. So Lu Da had become a real monk, hiding himself in the temple of Mount Wu Tai. No policeman would ever know that Lu Jishen was him. But could he be accepted by the fellow monks of the temple? Well, I wonder. You know, as soon as he sat down on the meditation couch in the hall, his head sank and he fell fast asleep. This was due to his long time boring and lacking of his usual daily activities. But when he tried to sleep, the two contemplatives who had been appointed his spiritual mentors gave him a warning. Hey, that's not allowed here. If you're going to be a monk, you've got to learn to meditate. I just went to sleep. What business is it of yours? And a lot of his cursing followed in the hall. Next day, they wanted to go to the abbot and complain about Lu Jishen's disrespectful attitude. But the senior dissuaded them. Father Abbot says he will one day achieve great sanctity, and he is exceptional. None of us will equal him. Father Abbot also says we have to overlook his shortcomings. There's nothing you can do about it. We're not to compare his behavior with other people's. That's all. So, no one complained anything to Lu Jishen after this, and every day when dusk came, he just collapsed, spread-eagled on the meditation couch, and slept. At night time, his snoring was like thunder. Just like that. And when he got up to answer for a call of nature, it was just behind the meditation hall that he went to pee. Oh my goodness. Really? Or something more. Or does his dirty job, and the ground all around was covered with his dirty things. My God. So protest to the abbot came again. Jishen has no manners at all. We shouldn't let someone like him stay in the temple. Nonsense, the abbot replied. What would our donor think? He will change at last. Since then, no one dares speak again. Well, there's something no one can bear. Really. All right, ladies and gentlemen. So Lu Jishen remained at the monastery of Mount Wu Tai, and 4 or 5 months passed. It was the beginning of winter, and after being quiet for so long, he was restless. That day was fine and clear, So he put on his black monk's robe, tied his belt, changed his sandals, and strode out of the temple gate. He walked on till he came to a little pavilion halfway down the mountain, where he sat down on a long bench that he began to consider things. What a stupid, awful life. Since I'm here, there used to be good meat and good wine. I could have it every day. But now they've made me a monk, and I'm so hungry. I'll soon be just nothing but a skeleton. And for the last few days, Mr. Zhao hasn't sent anyone with things for me to eat. Now this bloody horrible taste in my mouth. If only I could get hold of some wine. That at least would be something. He was just thinking of wine when he saw far off in the distance a man with two pails on a carrying pole coming up the mountain towards him, singing as he came. The pails had lids on them, and the man was also singing to himself. Why, that's wonderful, my dear fellow. When the man came right to the pavilion and rested his carrying pole there, Lu Jishen said, "Hey, you, what have you got in those pails?" "Good wine." "How much is it a pail?" "Are you pulling my leg, your reverence?" "Why should I pull your leg?" "I take this wine up to the temple, but I only sell it to the servants and Satan chair porters, ordinary folk who work there. Their abbot has warned us all about it. If we sell the wine to the monks, we'll be responsible. We'll lose our capital and be driven out of our houses. We get our capital from the monastery, you know, and our houses are owned by the monastery also. Do you think I'll take the risk of selling wine to you?" "I can't buy some." "No, even if you kill me." "I don't want to kill you. I just want to buy wine from you." Well, not liking the look of things, the man picked up his carrying pole and left. Lu Jishen immediately rushed out after him, seized the pole, and gave him a kick behind. "You scallywag! Just one was enough. The man clutched himself with both hands and remained huddled on the ground for a long while, unable to rise. Lu Jishen dragged the pails into the pavilion, took off the lids, and began ladling out wine and drinking. just drinking it simply like that, unwarmed. In no time at all, he had finished one complete pail. Then he said to the man on the ground, "Hey, come to the temple tomorrow, my friend, and we'll settle up." The man had not yet quite recovered from the pain. Besides, he was afraid the abbot might get to know and take away his means of subsistence. So he stood out his pain and swallowed his rage. Of course, he didn't want to come asking for the money. He divided the remaining wine between the two pails and almost flew down the mountain as if he got wings. Lu Jishen, meanwhile, stay in the pavilion half the day. Seems satisfactory of himself, eh? Oh, then he left. But he still sitting there. Then he felt that the wine gradually had gone to his head. Then he left the pavilion and sat among the roots of a pine tree for a moment. But then he felt hot and dizzy even more. He feared he might get drunk. He freed his arms and chest from the black monk's robe and knotted the sleeves about his waist. Well, listeners, if you were at the scene, you would surely see his naked back with tattoos of different sorts of flowers. These marks were mostly found on ancient times military men's body. So Lu Jishen has such a nickname, Flowery Monk. And now he had nothing to do, so bowed and began staggering the monastery gate. Ha! Ladies and gentlemen, what kind of a trouble would he make? Chapter 8 would give you the answer.